niggas on it. They used to bait me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I'ma have me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it, your homies on it. Y'all's the hater and all of my moves, but now niggas on it. They used to debate me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I'ma have me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it, your homies on it. Realest podcast.
What up? We back. Another day, another episode of the realest podcast ever. I'm your host, C. Diddy.
Y'all know who I am. I'm not introducing myself no more. I'm taking a break.
Your show, your channel.
Yeah, y'all know what the fuck.
You're here every few days. You know what I'm saying? They should know by now, but if they don't, that's Matthew. We got a special guest in the building today, man. We've been running through a ton of content, talking to a lot of different people over the last few months.
I know these pictures gonna stink. You know what I'm saying?
Last few months at this point. And today's guest is a content creator, podcast host, and a serial entrepreneur. He's a good friend of mine and someone who understands culture and content on an innate level and has been blessing the world with amazing content since 2015. TRP Nation, we're going to give it up for my guy Smooth from Cooking Up 215.
Zerski. Y'all already know who it is. It's your boy Smooth. We here, man. The realest podcast ever.
Made it to the couch, man.
Made it to the couch. I'm loving
Yeah,
it.
this is becoming like, the couch is becoming very low-level pornish. Like, once you make it to the couch, you know what I'm saying? You know you made it.
Young Legend said we've gotten to the point where now, where, you know, if you come on TRP, you kind of like stamped and like solidified and like whatever you doing. And I'm like, man, I didn't know y'all cared that much. But yeah, good looking.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? Once your thing starts to grow outside of you. Yeah. Because you can only see what you see and hear what you hear.
Right.
It be so many people outside of you that's talking about you don't even know.
The thing with it is and I'm pretty sure you get it because you outside way more than I am. But I'm like, everywhere I go, I get somebody. It's just like, yo, when y'all gonna have me up there? And it's not like just a random motherfucker. It's like somebody who actually is doing something.
Yeah.
That's just like, yo, when I'm gonna get up there? And it's just like, yeah, I've got so many people that, you know, we want to eventually get up here to have, you know, and literally I was talking the other day with somebody who I want to get up here for sure, and that's Mike from the Rum Foundation.
Yeah.
He's just way out because it's becoming like I want to come up there with something to announce.
Yeah, something tangible, something that I got going on.
Shout out to Mike, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a lot of people that we're going to get up here and get it done, you know what I'm saying? That's the goal. Like just, you know, highlighting the city.
Right.
People in and around the 215 area. And if nothing else, you can't take that shit away from TRP. We've put more motherfuckers from this city in front of these mics on this couch than just about any other platform out here. And it's like, you know, that's kind of where we've become, like, you know, staying true to ourselves and who our city is and what people are about.
I mean, that's the thing. Philly needed, period. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people always like to big us up because we giving them something positive. You know what I mean? We not just floating off the negative energy. Like, so many platforms be chasing the negative shit. Yeah. They want to hear you talk about the ops.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Camera cut on, nigga got on a ski mask, holding a Mac, and all. So like, that should be crazy.
They want to talk all beef. It's like, we need positive shit. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yo, what's wild is I was thinking it the other day because I came across something and I'm watching this shit. And I mean, like, it was like probably like a 47-minute situation show, whatever. And I just like thumbed through 6 minutes, 13 minutes, 20. Yeah. And the whole joint is just like, the ops, that every time you stopped and all, because his op was like, and it's just like, yo, do niggas do anything other than beef?
And the sad part is, I've seen good people with solid platforms turn and lean into the nonsense because of the low-hanging fruit and the traffic that it produces of like, oh, he beefing with him, I'm going to interview him, and then I'm going to interview him. And then I'm going to interview the girl that backdoored him with him. Like, and it's just like, yo, like, this is just like a never-ending universe because all niggas do is beef now.
You know I didn't know what backdoored meant. You know what I'm saying?
He thought it was something else.
I mean, I grew up watching porn in the 80s.
Yeah, he thought it was something else.
Backdoor is crazy. And then I drove for something. So I don't know what the fuck. I didn't know what the fuck this shit meant. And I had a young nigga recently explained it, like setting up somebody and all. I'm just like, man, like, y'all need to go to school, man.
Philly, the shit's so crazy in Philly, man. If you dive down that rabbit hole, that shit is too deep. You just don't go in that motherfucker. You know what I mean? You start going down that hole, you start feeling like you can't interview nobody. Because there's a lot of people in the city that's popping, and it be like, bro, I don't want to touch, y'all too hot for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the trenches. I'm still around. I don't got no time for no backlash because some shit you said on my platform, and I don't think they understand how that fucks up their money as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because now you too hot to touch. A lot of y'all dudes could have deals already. You too hot to touch. Nobody
look
want to.
at I saw the understandment. What's his name?
Oh, Quando Rondo.
Like, remember he got to that the realization of like, damn, I can't do a show out this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Right.
No one will book me right now for a show.
Yeah, and at bare minimum, as an artist, that's 33% of your income that you
That's
can't
everything.
make.
Maybe more.
Maybe more.
That'd be everything for some of these dudes. Once you get locked in some of these deals, the money they getting is they show money, they podcast money. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the reason they want to hit us in the head.
Money, yeah.
They want to hit us in the head because you can't go get no label money.
Yeah.
You just screwed yourself. You know what I mean? So now,
Man, I had two things. One, I had a artist that I reached out to from Philly, independent rap artist, like an emerging kid or whatever, super dope, talented. And I had somebody that I know books him, that does business with him, book him for parties, concerts, whatever. Put us on the phone together and try to book him or whatever. And I was trying to book him for the podcast, and he was like, "Yeah, normally like I'm charging like $3,000 for a podcast, but you know what I'm saying, I bro called you, so I do it for a stack." And I'm just like, trying to like mentally in my mind like go through this and try to like all right, so you got Patreon, you got YouTube, like I'm trying to make sense of the money, and I'm
gotta
just
make
like,
it make
yo,
sense.
I can't even make sense of it, and I'm just like, yo, at the end of the day, I like your music. I don't really necessarily even know enough about you to know that this is a compelling interview, but if you blow from doing music, which I think you are, I would like to say that I had a hand in it.
Right.
I'm trying to give you a leg up and put you on a platform in front of people that don't even know you exist. But niggas' whole thing is, and this is his calculation. Yeah, but I gotta charge you because once my ops see me on your podcast, they gonna be all calling you trying to get on the show, and then you can just charge them.
what? That's the science we use.
That's the
now.
science. All the niggas that hate me is all gonna be rushing.
They gonna be rushing to come
I
sit
said,
with
but
you.
bro, you not understanding. I don't interview rappers unless I got a personal connection to these people,
Right.
or I had something to do with their story. I don't interview rappers, bro. And I'm just like, I talk to people that's like in the community, people that's business owners, entrepreneurs,
Right.
elected officials. Like, I'm trying to put you on the same plane as that thing. Like, and he just couldn't. He like, well, I mean, $750. You know what I mean? I hear you, but like $750, nigga. So that's the first one.
I hear you, man.
Yeah. So that's the science and the math that we use. So that's number one. Then number two, to the point that you made about being too hot to touch, my man, a good friend of mine hit me up about interviewing his nephew or whatever. And I'm just like, who is he? So he sent me the page. I look into it. I get on the tube. I start doing some. I get on the tube. Start doing some background. He beefing with the whole universe.
He got his whole own Philly Reddit joint.
Yo, he got his own individual street stars.
Gotta leave him alone.
I'm just like, I don't know about this. And then the next week, I seen that 6ix9ine interviewed him, and I hit my man up. I was like, no, that was more fitting. Like that was like a better job.
That's where you
know
go.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, because that's a national platform. But I'm just like, yo, at the end of the day, I'm very, very visible. I'm outside. I know everybody. And it might be somebody connected to the other side that you got a problem with that I don't even know is connected to them, like on an OG level, that might have a problem with me platforming you.
Big fact.
And these be 10, 15, 20-year relationships that I done cultivated from being a public figure and being visible and being a promoter and being the rental car nigga and this, like, I done cultivated all these relationships, and I could undo all of that shit in 60 minutes off of one piece of content.
That's why you gotta leave them where they at. You be
Motherfuckers
like,
don't really understand now. The wildest part is a lot of it is just for nothing.
Yeah, when you get to
I will never understand that.
brass tacks and the origin, a lot of this stuff, it's so like,
Let me tell you how crazy shit was. I was telling him yesterday. I watched this video. Apparently, they had a 155 count indictment in New York, in the Bronx. Right, 155 count. They locked up members of 2 rival gangs or whatever. So they took them all down. They said that when they did the initial hearings for the shit, they had to basically take the gangs to separate courthouses because they didn't want the families and the friends seeing
Start
each other, all this
feuding and
crazy
shit,
shit, whatever. So the lady who I guess is like the district attorney or whatever for that division, and she's like talking about it like to the press or whatever. She was like, a lot of these shootings would spark at random, whether it was daytime, afternoon, nighttime, when they see their ops is opposition. And I'm just I'm like, yo, what
now
the
we
fuck?
need a damn hood translator.
So, and the part that fucked me up the most was she was like, a lot of these shootings, because they were talking about how many murders and how many shootings and all that shit.
Right.
A lot of it was nothing. She's like, most of it wasn't over drugs, drug territory, money. A lot of it was just fueled by this thing they do called drill music, in which they make songs disrespecting the others. And I'm just like, yo, to see 155 count indictment is like mafia shit, like
a multi-state mafia RICO,
like some Appalachian Mountain shit, like 155 count indictment is just like, so to see that from straight up
niggas in an 8-block radius
with video cameras,
I don't even
it's
think
just
it's
crazy.
8 blocks, bro. I don't even think it'd be 8 blocks. This should be right the same neighborhood, 2 cul-de-sacs away from each other. Like, you know, like, let's say, for example, you got like the Island, Richard Island and all that shit they going through. These niggas all went to the same school, high school and everything with each other, middle school, grew up with each other. Somebody got into a fight, they went from fighting to guns. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
And then once somebody dies or
I'm
gets
sorry,
shot,
I said 155, it was 151.
Okay.
Count indictment, 33 gang members, most of them charged with shootings, guns, and murders.
They gonna do it in Philly soon. I believe it. They already had like a press conference, and
they had a
he
couple.
was giving them a opportunity to chill out and fall back. And they was like, if y'all don't, we gonna crack down.
Well, you know,
Bro, look at the list of
time,
shootings on April 16th, on October 26th, July 3rd, January
100
28th.
bullet points. 100 bullet points.
Just mad shootings. This shit is
Bro,
crazy.
And when they did that original joint, when Krasner did that press conference or whatever, 2 of the young boys from the one crew was already locked up for double murder. So he just telling like, yo, the rest of y'all, like y'all gonna end up like your
Like
big
these
homies,
two,
like these two. And the big homies is 19 and 21.
That's the crazy part. That's the oldest they be.
Yeah.
The 21, he's the oldest of the
old
gang.
head street niggas at a certain point ejected themselves from the street.
With that indictment, you gotta watch the video. Most of them they were saying on there are teenagers.
Yeah,
It's like
they
young
all-
motherfuckers. Yeah.
all these niggas young.
The presence of having old heads in the hood is a wrap. That shit is over with. And at the end of the day, none of these young niggas even want to listen to anybody unless
they don't
you
respect
got
them.
a certain amount of money or you pulling the Benz up or whatever. Like, they don't want to just take your testimony for what it's worth and the fact that, like, you beat the streets or you survived all of this nonsense that been going on in this neighborhood since before they was born. That's not enough.
When we was young, I remember Mr. Ben or Mr. Charles. Mr. Charles drove the 37. Mr. Ben drove a tractor trailer. Yeah, I remember that, like, Mr. Barry, he worked for OSHA. Like, they could come and talk to you with, like, just about life, and you would respect it.
Right.
Now, Mr. Barry he got to show you his AK scar for you to even listen to it. Like, this shit is crazy.
And a Cullinan.
And
You had to survive a chopper and have a Cullinan.
but the worst part, I don't even
Niggas trying to
think
take me out, Neff.
they're not trying to
And
hear
I
that
still
shit.
and I rose to, I'm a multi-millionaire. Nigga.
And them old heads will still call him a dickhead. They wouldn't care. They wouldn't. Yo, these young boys don't care. I feel like even if you was an old head, you was getting some money and you might have had some influence in the streets, these young boys, they'll see that bag as a, like, I might be able to get him.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So you can't even get involved with the young boys because they might make you a target. They have no respect.
Man, my cousin,
For them, anything is a go.
My cousin, 50 years old, he's super stamped. Triple OG, the whole nine. Did it all, been through it all. And he successful in a multimillionaire now for real estate from a whole nother life that he's living now. And he literally said, I'm down to get it on with anybody except them young niggas. He said, if you under 25, I don't want no smoke.
They leaving you alone.
He said they different animals, man.
Them
Because they'll
boys-
shoot you and tell on you.
They don't. Real shit.
They'll shoot you, you survive. You shoot them, they'll tell on you. Take you off the board.
It's different.
Got it.
It's different. This shit different.
I got this nigga.
Couldn't get you that way. Got
Couldn't
you
get
this
you that
way.
way, get you another way.
Real right.
Shoot you and tell you. That's hilarious.
This shit is rough. Did y'all see that the Gangsta Gauntlet tour is over? 6ix9ine got dealt with in
LA Fitness.
in LA Fitness, man. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, that's how I feel. Just
It's a lot of 45-year-olds that are really into him getting rolled on, and it's just like, yo, at the end of the day, this is a goofy little motherfucker who's living a goofy ass life, who's going to have goofy ass. He's going to get shot out of a cannon at a Cardinals game sooner. Like it's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like when the Buccaneers score and the cannon goes,
it's gonna be Danny.
I'm telling you, like he's a goofball. And
I feel like it's no points. There's no points for it.
Like that's not John. Like what are y'all getting out of rolling on him?
It's no points
in biker shorts at the LA Fitness
In West Palm.
It's
like
no points.
what is the purpose in this?
Like, even though he's not in witness protection, it felt like a witness protection beatdown. Like, it just kind of felt like he left the program and went to LA Fitness. Like, for no reason. And his past caught up to him. So that part makes it hilarious. Now, there's a gang element to this or whatever the case may be, where it's like, people are thinking like he got beat up because of like, oh, you a snitch and snitches get stitches, and it's not really that. I think that he had an encounter with these guys or whatever, and he did like some disrespectful shit or whatever and dropped crowns on them, which is like Latin Kings. Like he did some disrespectful gangs, flagged some anti-Latin King shit, and then they start calling niggas up there, and then they beat him up or whatever. Like that was like on the spot, like, yo, we fucking 6ix9ine up today. And it wasn't like, oh, we know you come to the LA Fitness at 7:00 every Wednesday. Like, I don't think it was one of them Jones. I think it was like some spur of the moment shit. Nothing about him
makes me like you talking to somebody who lifts weights.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I know people. I can look at somebody and tell who the fuck go to the gym or who do cardio or who.
I think that was his first day at LA Fitness.
The niggas that play ball, they carry sneakers for no reason. They in the supermarket with sneakers in their head, like you know
all the time with the ball sneakers
for no reason. Like nothing about 6ix9ine gives me the impression that he does anything remotely even close to a LA Fitness. So just him being there in the goings on
that had to be his first day.
Yeah, like I think he like when they gave him his key card, the nigga like, yo,
he just signed up.
I'm looking at it. I just seen it.
He literally just signed up.
First month, 99 cents, nigga. He just signed up. Like so, it's just at the end of the day, I hate to be that guy, but when you see federal convictions, like real deal federal convictions, 80% of them come from testimony and informant. That's a fact.
That's a big fact.
This shit is not only him. Yeah. Like you just said, them niggas will shoot you and tell me.
Mm-hmm.
That's the fucking
and
world.
they come back to the same hood and beat a man.
You know the crazy part about the 6ix9ine shit though that be killing me is that they know what these dudes was doing to 6ix9ine. So it's hard for, you know what I mean? As much as snitching is against our culture and shit, these dudes was treating him.
Yeah.
They was fucking his baby mom. You know what I mean? They was treating her. Yeah, I can curse.
Yeah.
Right,
Listen, cool. That's the real podcast. Sorry, say whatever you want.
All right, cool. They was fucking his baby mom.
Just don't go full Kanye.
They kid.
Let me tell you about the Jews. Like, whoa, damn.
Red flag. But yeah, they fucking his baby mom. They kidnapped him. They was taking his money. Yeah. He was thinking he was getting XYZ for shows. He was getting like $250,000.
Niggas was rerouting the money.
They was treating him.
Yeah.
They treating you. They straight disrespecting you. And I feel like at some point there is no loyalty owed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So some niggas will always act like when it's street shit, regardless if it's loyalty owed, you're supposed to always uphold that oath of no snitching. Like, go get it out in the streets.
Right.
But in reality, he broke it down. None of them upheld that oath. Not even the mafia niggas.
Exactly. It's so many people that's higher in the streets than him that break that code.
It's the mafia code omerta that they started, and they don't even honor.
They don't even uphold the
biggest sensation on the internet is Sammy the Bull. He's the #1 sensation on YouTube. His interviews and all of that, because he's still talking gangster, even though he told on the whole fucking Gambino crowd.
It's a docu-series on Netflix. It's called True Crime something, but it's about the New York families. It's a 3-part joint. You'll see it. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
But I watch it because I watch all them joints.
I'm
watching it, and the nigga, you know them quintessential Italian. He's short, big as shit, got that little spiked hair situation going on, and he like leaned back in the seat and he everything out of his mouth because fuck them fucking pigs. You know, I'm fucking around with them fuck around. So, you know, he's talking that shit. Yeah. And then it gets to like the second part and it's like, when he became a federal informant, he's like, yeah, I mean, I did what the fuck I had to do. You know?
There's no fucking loyalty in this game.
Like, what? And I mean, he talked about how many motherfuckers he done killed and what he done did, this, that, and the third. And it come across the screen like, so he knew he was backed into a corner where he had to become a federal informant. I was like, wait, what? He was like, yeah, well, the fucking guy told him, what the fuck was that? You think I'm fucking falling for you? Fuck out of it. Get the fuck out of it.
Bro, the most ruthless people be the ones that'll throw anybody under the bus. You know what I'm saying? Those be the ones.
Because there's no rules.
You got your Frank Lucases, you got your Alpos and all that shit. They
Man,
really
Michael Francis, when you really get into the real deal of what they was doing with that gas tax shit, they was making millions of dollars. Like, he literally rose to where he was a capo, an underboss in his fucking family. And literally, he told. And now he's on world tour.
Well, I got to shoot Michael Francis some bail. He was subpoenaed to testify, and the testimony he gave helped Norby Walters. It didn't hurt him because he ended up not doing a day in jail.
Right. But at the end of the day,
he cooperated.
He literally said on the joint, at certain places I can't go because they're going to kill me.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know, and that's just the reality. It's like we kind of, like somebody the other day, Gunna had posted, I guess he was like
posted a snippet or something like that.
Yeah, he was like in Miami or Palm, something like that. And people in the comments like, I can't believe this motherfucker really just out Miami chilling. I'm like, what do you think he's supposed to sit outside the jail and wait for him to What the fuck? Like it just, people are like almost like they fool themselves into believing these things. And here go the fucked up part. It come from, because I worked a job for 20 years, over the last 20 years. It come from, I remember like walking into my break room at various different places and hearing motherfuckers who are 8 minutes in front of me on the bus, like, no, we don't fuck with them rats. And I'm like, are you talking about the basement? Like, in the building?
Like, I agree. They should get an exterminator down here.
Like, you a damn operator. Like, you don't get the fuck.
Yo, it be all the people who got something to say be straight up pedestrians. People ain't never did a day in their motherfucking life, and they just looking at this shit like a movie.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They be expecting every character to uphold themselves a certain way. And I tell people, I always be like, man, the street code, that shit was created to keep certain niggas from getting other niggas in trouble. You know what I'm saying? So like you said, the mob. If I'm a mob boss, what do I want everybody to do? Close your fucking mouth. I don't want you to say nothing if they ask you something, because I know they after me.
You know what
I'm
saying? They don't even care about you.
Yeah, they don't even care about you.
They twist you like a
me.
pretzel to get to me.
They don't give a flying
So the
fuck
whole
about
thing
that.
was just people trying to protect themselves while they created this whole thing.
I mean, if you really get into the Sammy the Bull, John Gotti John, like Gotti was blatant in his, where his stance was, fuck cops, I don't fuck with them, this and that. But on the flip side, it was like, Sammy, you take them 17.
You need to take them. You got to take them.
Take them 17. It's only 17. Take them 17.
Yeah, that shit is crazy to me. I don't know what they be expecting.
In the 6ix9ine situation, it's like, yo, if you just examine it as a case study, if you strip away all of the propaganda and all of that and just deal with the fact of Harv and that other nigga kidnapped him and was going to murder him. These niggas are murderers. Like, if niggas kidnap you and hold you for ransom, and by the grace of God, you escape, and you know that you have no other recourse, you either going to shoot it out in the street or go to the FBI. Yeah. Those are the two choices. Because if my dog gets kidnapped tomorrow, the FBI gets called because they are the ones that deal with kidnappings. Yeah. When Lady Gaga's dogs went missing and all of that, the FBI got called. So it's like once you start taking crime to a certain level, it's like, all right, well,
you done put yourself in this box.
What am I going to do? You know what I'm saying? And right before that, Shotty and his little miniature band of goons showed up at like a Universal Republic meeting where 6ix9ine was at with Lucian Grange's son Elliot, and Elliot's security had to shoot one of them niggas. So it's like it was already established like where this was going even before Danny got kidnapped. You know what I mean? And the thing is, it all comes down to likability, and the fact that he's a detestable kid who says some super foul shit about all these people that we love. Nobody's willing to just examine the facts of the matter as a case study and just be like, well, if a nigga kidnapped me and held me for ransom and tried to kill me, I would probably contact the FBI.
Yeah. Even if he didn't, they was already investigating them. So it wasn't even like he needed to contact that. FBI was already on his ass.
They already had the driver. They already had the driver.
It was a wire in the car. Yeah. That's how they knew the whole shit was going down, because the dude had a wire on him already.
Danny had to make an executive decision.
Regardless, this shit was already going bad. But if you told me, you sitting at the table, they come out with the folder, they show you the pictures, main man in the bed, they got the phone conversations with your baby mom. You just know they was about to kidnap you. Are you really not going to say nothing about these dudes?
The problem,
you willing to go to jail with them? Fuck no. Am I going to go to jail with y'all?
The biggest problem in all of it was
that's crazy.
Even more,
that's crazy.
The biggest problem in all of it was that Harv, Mel Matrix, and Shotty didn't make the distinction to have Treyway Entertainment and non-Trey Gangsta Bloods. They intermingled that shit so much that they was taking 6ix9ine on drills. They was taking him to go sell bricks of heroin in Bushwick. Like, they was doing the most egregious shit you would ever want to do with a nigga that everybody knows is going to tell on you if it goes left.
And that's where they went wrong.
I don't think anybody during that run believed that 6ix9ine was
going to keep it solid. I'm going down with the shit.
Like, no one believed he was like a capo in the regime.
Like he was just going to hold it down. Like, yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing. I'm sure that they knew that too. Y'all had to know if shit went south. Main man wasn't about to.
But that was the arrogance of the situation. They didn't think it was going to go south. They thought that they were so insulated and that they were dealing with other gangsters that the gangsters that they was doing shit to wasn't going to tell.
Nobody was going to say anything.
What turned the tide. The gangsters that they was doing shit to got tired of getting bullied and started telling on these niggas. That's what happened.
That's a big fact. I think the main issue too was like the reason why so many people got an issue with him snitching. It was a lot of shit that he put in motion.
Oh,
like
man.
that whole shooting at
the
Chief
Keef
Keef
joint. He put it in motion.
Shit.
Then
like,
he told the nigga that shot. Well, yeah, you know, Kuda B shot at Chief Keef.
See that shit like that? That's you're doing too much. You done set all this shit up, and then you gonna go tell on the people that you hired to go do it. That's drawing.
He's a filthy dude.
Yeah,
he's a filthy dude.
So I guess his stomp out, it was coming. We all knew eventually he was going to get his ass beat.
Did they stomp him out?
They stomped him out.
I feel like when
there's
he
an
kicked him,
extended video.
I felt his rib.
Yeah, no, it went on for about 7 minutes.
I felt
three
his
niggas
rib
kicking
break.
this nigga in the face. Yeah, the nigga hit
video
him with the curb stomp. Yeah, the last jump.
The
ribs cracked.
Yeah.
The video of him, he looks like he walks out on his own, like, you know.
Well, you know, you could get in a badass accident and walk out.
Yeah,
you gonna feel that shit the next day.
Yeah,
you
they
gonna
fucked
feel
him
that shit the
around.
next day.
They did him pretty bad. But the thing is, Academics made a good point on his stream last night. He was like, Danny should be counting his blessings because they could have done you way worse. They could have killed you.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, you know, Latin kings are known for gruesome execution of crime. The way that they, like, deal with people that they determine as an op, as far as, like, knife work and all of that shit.
So the dudes are Latin kings.
Yeah, that you could hear in the extended version of the video, they, like, stop throwing up my crown. Don't throw my crown up. So that's what substantiated it to where it's like, oh, this is some gang nonsense.
Yeah, it was some other shit. Like he must have been rapping Latin Kings, and they don't want no.
Or more likely disrespecting like some subliminal disrespect to the Latin Kings or whatever, and they caught it, and then when they seen them, it went how it went.
I mean, at the end of the day,
this is all nigger nonsense.
Yeah, he's made his decision in life for what he's doing.
Yeah.
3 months ago, everybody was dick riding a little nigga because he did the shit with all the purses.
Yeah.
I kept seeing that shit. I kept seeing it.
People
posting this shit over. So it's like, he's one of them people
I seen bitches that I follow in the comments tomorrow. I want one.
Dog.
I said, I'm unfollowing this.
Yo, I've gotten to that point where I unfollow motherfuckers. If I just see you in something, I'm cool. I don't
too much fuckery
girl said,
for me.
I want one. I'm blocking. Yo, I had enough of this.
Yo,
Cannot be
I
associated.
don't have time for it. And it just, he's one of them people where it's going every 2 to 3 months. He's going to be a
some
headline
shit.
with something goofy attached to him.
And I think that's the problem too. He made it that way. Like the only way he excels is by keeping himself in those headlines for bullshit. And the crazy part that his music was actually trending. It was cool.
Yeah.
It wasn't no shit we gonna listen to riding in the car.
Right.
But he was fucking them up at them concerts.
Yeah.
So it's like, bro, you really could have just stayed focused on the music without all the other bullshit.
He was just performing
and you'd have been cool.
and had a crowd going
he
crazy.
he performed
was
in the
all
Middle
over
East. He
town.
did the whole Middle East circuit. He did Russia.
Yeah, I was about to say,
He did a
when
bunch
he
of
go out the
places.
country, he go out, he makes
But
the
he's
bag.
one of them people where it's like the nigga go to the World Baseball Classic and getting shit thrown at him. And he's fighting in the crowd. And it's
Yeah,
just
can't
like,
nobody fuck with you
yeah,
no
he's
more.
just one of them
He
people
could get
where-
into a dispute in an empty room.
Yeah.
Like he's just one of them people.
Him and himself.
And academics used to say it all the time. He said 6ix9ine is one of them niggas that sit in the crib all day and think about ways to antagonize people on the internet. Like that's all he does. Like
Did you ever hear Dave East talk about him when he was like, yeah, he just used to be the quiet boy in the corner, like he was the cameraman. So it's like he taught himself this shit.
yeah, he taught exactly.
You know what I'm saying? This was
Yeah.
self-taught.
But
You
here go the
wasn't
crazy-
always
here-
like
And
this.
here go the wildest part about it. He done had the whole situation at the gym that got rolled on, all this bullshit. When he decides to address this,
Yeah.
7 million.
Oh, he going, you know, he going to rant.
Yeah,
he going to be yelling, "Y'all
Yeah,
fucking jump me, da da da." With a kill truck,
and
it's
it's
gonna
just
go crazy.
us as a
He gonna
people
dig a
at times,
deeper
like, I had
hole.
to tell people the other day, like me and Jay was talking about it, like, stop sending me this shit. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
Like,
one thing I
I
give him
just
credit
figured
for
it out.
through the whole situation, even though they was fucking him up, he did not tuck tail. He was like, yo, y'all jumping me though. Kick. Why y'all pulling my hair? Kick. Like he won't shut up. Like you can't. Only thing that's gonna shut him up is a bullet.
Yeah, he one of
Maybe.
those. He gonna forever keep
Maybe.
talking.
Yeah.
He gonna forever
He'll
talking
be
shit.
on the gurney like fuck y'all. Y'all still some bitch ass niggas. Charleston White made a video about it that was hilarious. He said they got Tashaki, y'all. He said they got Tashaki 69. They got him. He said all them Birkin bags he was buying for them hoes, it should have been a security team. He's spending his money on the wrong thing.
How y'all feel about Charleston White though?
I like Charleston White, man. I ain't
like
gonna hold you.
Charleston.
I didn't. I like Charleston White, man. He be saying some real shit. He's annoying at times, but it's a
Somebody else
lot
has
of
said that
truth
too.
in that shit. You know what I'm saying? And-
Somebody else said he said some real shit. I think I seen something. He said something. It was like he said a bunch of bullshit. Then he followed up with a couple gems.
That's where I was gonna go. Charleston White says a lot of bullshit.
Yeah, it be
but then
a
he'll
whole lot
drop
of
a
bullshit.
gem or two.
Yeah, it's like
and then
all
you
the way
just,
at the end.
and the gem will be so good.
You
that it's
ignore
like,
all
make
the
up for the
bullshit.
so
bullshit.
much bullshit that it's just like, damn, he got a point though on that. Like,
Yeah.
he's somebody who's figured out.
He's another one. Figured out the internet.
The 6ix9ine shit, yup.
You know what I'm saying?
Big facts.
That shit where he talked that Soldier Boy jail, like I can't help but laugh at that shit. He understands the internet in a manner that most people don't. He understands the viral in whatever you're doing or saying. Even that shit where he did the podcast where he pulled the gun. Like, you don't talk to me when I got no gun in my hand. Whole time the gun wasn't even real.
Yeah,
It's just
exactly.
like
And they preset it up.
Yeah, like it just he understands that. You know what I'm saying?
I think a lot of it's same with 6ix9ine. It's playing with fire, bro. Because sometimes you go too far, and it's always those people that you don't know or ain't got shit to do with whatever you talking about.
Yeah.
That's holding you
The
accountable for
Crips
that
caught him
shit.
slipping. He was like walking to the store. Some Crip niggas slid up on him like, oh, what's all that Nipsey talk about? He was like, oh, no, ain't no problem. They put him on camera. He said, say it on camera. He ain't talked about no Crip since.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. You gonna
That was
have
like
people,
that was about this time last year. Niggas threw
gon-
that camera in his face. They must. I know they had the big ass cartoon gun on the other side of the camera.
Fucking musket. That shit look like a trumpet.
Nigga, what that rolling 60 talk be about? Crip.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some people ain't gonna go for that shit. That's the same thing with the 6ix9ine shit. Somebody gonna hold you accountable. It may not had nothing to do with the nigga that
Exactly.
you talking about.
Exactly.
They gonna hold you accountable.
Yeah, I think, that's the biggest thing with like media. Like
Right.
doing it and being a part of it, it's almost like the whole stand-up comedian thing. You're gonna offend people. You're gonna get on people's nerves. I know I've said shit that people might not like or
Right.
agree with. It's what it is. My thing is, I don't come up here and intentionally call out names and be like, this bitch ass motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, that when you start doing that, now you're playing around because you don't know who's affiliated with that person. You don't know who feels a way about that person. I've had people walk up to me mad that I say it all the time, that I don't have Jay as the greatest rapper ever. I've had people like them, they not trying to fight or no shit,
Yeah.
But motherfucker just like, man, what you mean?
They still think you're crazy.
Right. So it's like, I could only imagine if I get to be like, that nigga Clarence, let me tell y'all about that. I'm in Renton Terminal, Clarence cousin come to, you know, and it's just, people don't understand when you're doing this media shit, you do kind of gotta like protect certain things or certain
because you gotta be outside still.
Yeah.
You gotta go outside to
talk about people as if they're in the room when they're not.
Right.
Or you're going to have a whole lot of problems when you go outside.
When we do mention shit here, a lot of it is lighthearted. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll make jokes that Jay is 82. But we also say Jay's one of the most inspirational dope. So it's like, yeah, we're making light of different situations and different people, but it's never you sit around and
ain't
just
nothing that Jay gonna feel like he gotta pull up on you about. So maybe ain't nobody else gonna pull up on you about.
I watched a Khalid Muhammad speech the other day and an interview on Donahue, and I'm like, that motherfucker was spewing hatred. Like that was real hate. You know what I'm saying?
Authentic 90s era hate.
90s hate. Yeah, like that shit was real. So it's like we don't do that. And people like 6ix9ine, Charleston, White, they do that.
They do that shit. And my thing is, what's the shelf life on that? How far can you take that? You know what I'm saying? Like Charleston, he getting booked now. He doing his shows and all that shit. But how long can it last before that shit?
Look at Charlemagne. You remember when Charlemagne was like the shock jock coming from the window and shit? They was chasing his ass down the street, and that's reality. Sooner or later,
tired of getting punched in the face.
Yeah, I'm about to say, did you see the 360 that Charlemagne has made?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And I was talking about that with somebody. I was like, you could come in like Charlemagne, and it'll get you what you want only for so long, and then eventually you'll have to reinvent yourself. And that's what Charlemagne did. Now Charlemagne is the guy you talk about mental health and black excellence and all that shit. Now we associate him with that.
Yeah.
But it had to be a whole 360, bro. You had to stop doing all the shit you was doing. You had to stop making people feel uncomfortable when they come to the station, bringing up all the weirdest shit. Like, he'll still have his moments, but it's way lighter than it used to be.
Have you realized they ain't used that Fredro Star meter in a long time? Because ain't nobody been in there snapping the fuck off on him.
Yeah,
it's just a different
it's no more Birdman moments.
No
more of that.
Fredo Star, Birdman, Master P, Beans. Like every couple of weeks, it seemed like they was doing that little head shaking Fredo Star
before he started going crazy.
Like they don't have that shit no more because you grow up, you evolve,
Exactly.
and now the world we live in, like making it full circle, motherfuckers will just start shooting for nothing. Like
That's
literally nothing. Like shit can just go left in the drop of a dime.
You ain't see the dude shooting out the window in his car?
No.
They had a dude, and he got found innocent. He was on the highway, and the roadways joint.
He got found innocent?
The boy threw a bottle at him.
They dropped the charges.
Yeah, they dropped the charges the other day. I did see.
Florida is crazy.
They dropped the
Craziest place on the
charges.
planet.
He was allowed
can't wait to get there.
He in the car.
As long as you can prove that you fear for your life, they always gonna go out.
Yeah, the part
thought
was he was scared of himself.
Yeah,
nigga that was outside the car was himself. Nigga was looking behind the steering.
Damn, they shoot. No, that's me. Shit.
They let it go. Oh, that's me.
No, that's me. Damn. He didn't even roll the window down.
He didn't roll the window. He shot his own
He
window.
was busting through his own front window.
But
But it was the way he was just running from himself from me. It was like, he's still driving.
And the craziest part is when you can see his lips. When he got done the clip, he was like, whoo.
Yeah, like that was close.
Yeah, they almost got me.
You're the only one shooting.
Oh my God. He definitely was. Like, that was close.
Yo, Florida a
Like
different place,
nobody
man.
on the highway shooting but him.
And you know
that
the
nigga
crazy
got
part?
done. It was like, woo. They almost.
He's the one that cut the nigga off.
Dog,
You caused this whole shit.
Yeah.
And then start shooting.
He cut the
And
nigga off.
spanked it.
He cut the nigga
Oh
off.
my
The nigga
God.
threw a bottle in his car. He said, oh, I got something for this nigga.
Let
That
that
nigga
whole
went
shit
right into the console.
He said, take all this.
Yo, nigga
Oh
shot
my
his
God.
own windows out from inside
And
the car.
recorded himself. Had it all on camera. That's
Yo,
I
you
was just
imagine
like,
calling
yo.
Progressive the next morning? Yeah, y'all ain't gonna believe this. I need to file a claim.
I don't even think they got a joint in the book for that. Like, you don't even know what to do with that one, bro.
Motherfucker, he was shooting that Nathan Light.
Scared of his damn self.
Because you know when he started shooting, he jammed on the brakes.
Yeah.
And started shooting. The motherfucker he was shooting at just kept going. Like,
Yeah, they was
he
going.
out.
They was going.
He out of here.
I think they looked
I'm not gonna
up.
sit here and let
They
you
was
shoot
gone.
me.
Yo,
Dummy.
Florida
was
is a
gone.
crazy ass place. That is hilarious.
I still don't see how you could beat that. Whether you fear for your life or
when
not.
I saw
it's
the
yo.
headline was
That's
like,
the rule in Florida. Like, all you gotta do is be fearful of your life. You got the right to.
You ain't all right. So remember that girl? I don't know where she was at. She shot in the air. She like locked up for like 20 years or some shit like that. It was. I can't remember where it was at, but she shot in the air because she was scared of something like that, and they booked her.
Yeah, she only 20 years.
Yeah, like and 20 years on top of that.
Yeah, you
One
gotta
joint in the
know where
air,
you at.
He let a whole clip go on the highway while
I know where you
driving.
at. You in motherfucking Florida,
If that's
Texas?
not endangering the public or something like,
my thing is,
my God.
even if you gotta go that route, turn the Uber camera off. It's like he was filming this shit. Like that was a crazy.
I just wanted him to be a
situation.
little bit more steady while driving.
Oh.
He laid his seat back and was just like, I think he was turning his head and everything. Like, bro, you not even paying attention. Like,
That's a crazy ass.
you about to
video.
hurt somebody.
I definitely seen the headline the other day. Was like charges dropped. I'm like,
Yeah.
how?
And watch the video. I'm like, this justice system. Yeah, that's what he said. They threw a water bottle. He was like,
Yeah.
I believed it was a gunshot. How you mix a water bottle with a gunshot, bro?
Hey
Like,
man, we on the
man,
highway.
it was so much shooting going on. I just couldn't get
So
my
much shoot going
Can't get
on
myself
by your
together.
damn self.
There's only shells out here from your gun. Yeah, listen, man. I'm telling you, that
Shit was real, man.
it was
Somebody was
intense,
shooting.
man.
Somebody else is shooting. I don't know.
That's hilarious.
That's funny as hell. While we got you here, we got to talk about cooking up. You've been doing a lot of great work lately, man. Going viral, on the gram and all of that. You get on TikTok yet?
Yeah,
Oh,
my
you on
TikTok went viral too a little bit.
That's what's up, man. What is the inspiration behind cooking up, and why you, kind of like not necessarily transition from being an entrepreneur, you're still doing your thing, but made that as like a focus of one of your entrepreneurial visions to be in the content game?
Originally, I was doing music.
Okay.
Like I've been doing music, man, for real. Like since high school. And all the dudes I was doing music with, we was getting some tread. Like City Romanecki, he out
that's my
Atlanta.
dog.
Yeah, he out Atlanta. Me and him was the first two doing music together.
Yeah.
And then we got other dudes. Rodden got songs with Travis Porter and shit like that. So it was like we had all the music elements. But we couldn't get no good looks on interviews and videos and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
it was like, all right, somebody got to start doing that stuff for us then. So I started shooting the videos. And I'm watching Breakfast Club, and I'm like, man, I can't wait till we get there. Or what can we do that's like that here? It's nothing. And this is like 2012 or 13 back then. So I was like, man, we need something. The city needs something where we can go and people that's popping could go and tell their stories now, because it's like I feel like we already got stories. Right. So many people have already been through so much shit, and just trying to make it up in Philly is hard enough. It's a story by itself. So, long story short, I just like, fuck it, let's just do it. Just start shooting, putting a team together, reached out to Vern, All Money Shots. And Vern was like the first person to really like, take what I was trying to do seriously.
Yeah.
It's crazy how many people was looking at the thought of starting a show back then. Because, podcast wasn't really popping back then.
No, especially not on video.
Yeah, especially not video. So it was like when we started that, it was like we was battling Breakfast Club. It just sounded like this like this thing is far-fetched. Like, oh, man, you're not about to do this. Nobody really was believing. Nobody really wanted to jump behind it. He jumped behind it. And it should just start taking off, man. Like we had young Chris come up, so I just seen where it could go, and I already knew that these companies, like when Revolt was coming out, that they were going to start looking for these things. They were going to start looking for shows. You know what I'm saying? Now, I fucked up because
Took a hiatus.
like I'm always, like you said, I'm a serial entrepreneur, so I'm always chasing a bag, and I had to teach myself, like, you really got to be patient with your dreams. You know what I mean? A lot of us, we want that instant gratification. We want the money now.
Yeah, I call it add 30-second button.
Yeah, like, and sometimes it's not like that. So I started chasing the money. I still wanted to do the show because that's just where I love it. You know what I'm saying? But I opened up a lounge. I had Spade Lounge at 53rd and Market.
Yes, indeed. Right across the street from us. We was at After Midnight.
Yeah,
We was right across the street.
We all right
From
there.
gang signs to each other.
From across the street, like,
Bitch ass nigga.
yeah, hey, what's side? I mean, we over here. Nah, we used to go from there. They was
Exactly.
after midnight.
Go back
We
and
meet
forth.
here, we go over there. So that was always cool. But yeah, I started doing the lounge thing, and that shit just ate up all my time. And I'm like one of them people, I'm so hands-on. I always thought I was going to be able to put it in other people's hands, and it just never happened. So now I'm here all the time. Now the show is taking a back seat. But, you know, full circle around, the show came back up because it was like it always was something that I was attached to. It's part of my love. I love music. And, of course, I'm from Philly. I love Philly. I love to see people become successful from Philly. And it's like, if you go back and watch my old shows, it's so many people that came on the show that blew up since then. Right. The Mont Browns. I had Mont Brown far before his A&R stage. You know what I'm saying?
You know what you got to do then?
Outside.
You got to repurpose all that old content and bring it back.
We was talking about it. We literally
Gotta
just
do it, man.
just
That was a
spoke
gem
about
that Troy from EYL gave me. We met at the Revolt conference last year, and he was like, I was telling him like our numbers and our traction and this, and he was like, "Oh, you doing that much? All right, cool. This what you do." He was like, "You start repurposing your content yet?" I'm like, "Nah, what you mean?" He was like, "Yo, all that old content you got, it's old to you, it's new to anybody that's just getting introduced to your audience." He was like, "So as you continue to ascend, you got to repurpose your old content, and then that's going to double your numbers just because it's just like, yo, you could put out an old show with a new show every week. So whatever you're doing off the new show, you should at least be doing similar, if not a little bit less numbers to, you know, to the repurposed show.
Right.
And people want to listen to it. And sure enough, we started doing these Throwback Thursdays and repurposing these old shows, and people was on it, and people like, yo, I don't even remember this when y'all said such and such, and it is callbacks in there because people is like, yo, y'all said this and then it happened and all of that, and that's giving us a whole nother energy around the show too.
Yeah, because that'd be the thing too, is like you always great. People catch up to your greatness. So it's like when Jay is held up as great, like you always great. It's just people don't recognize it until everybody recognizes it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you could go back, and I'm sure every interview probably was fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, we had Gilly before Wallow came home. We had Dana Chanel before she was a million up. You know what I mean? I think she probably was a millionaire at the time, but this before everybody knew her. She was young. If you look at the interview, she was a baby face. And I'm telling you, she came on the show, she was just so proud to be there. She was crying tears and everything. So it's just like, yo, we really had a lot of people. And I just watch them. I love, like you said, to say I was a part of your journey. Yeah. And just to see you go where you're going, that shit is amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy because, like, I was sitting there the other day with one of my good friends, and we was just talking about, like, the show's resume. Like, what all we've done in and around the show. And we just kind of, like, started, like, throwing the names around of, and I, like, that's what I was talking about earlier, where it's like, damn, when you really sit and think about it, it's just like, yo, we done had a lot of like the who's who of the city up,
big
this,
facts.
and it's just like, god damn, like you don't even think about it while you doing it, because you just like, oh, we doing these next couple weeks, oh, we doing this, oh, we doing that, okay, cool, send me the invites,
you in the
send
grind,
me the scheduling, so I got it. But then you really sit back and you think about, like, if you're in this city and whatever you're into, whatever you like, you can come to this platform and you can get that.
Right.
If you're in the DJing, we done had DJ Boogie on this show. If you if you want to be a lawyer, we done had Kev on. We done had lawyers on this show. We done had DJs, sports bettors, business owners, basketball players, rappers, chefs. Like, you name it, we done did. And concert promoters, pastors, you name it, we done did it. Elected officials. You can really get to a place where you cover all the bases, and you just, like, it's something to be proud of in that, like, damn, we got like a good ass, cool ass platform.
That's why I think we do well, because we are well rounded. You got some people that can only live in hip hop. Some people who can only live in business.
Only live in nonsense.
You know what I'm saying? And only live in nonsense. Only live in talking about the threesomes and shit like that. Nah, we live in a space where, because we are entrepreneurs from different aspects, we serial entrepreneur, you a serial entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? So we like are well versed. We well versed in all that shit. So you could talk with anybody. So it's like, I don't have to put myself in a box. Like, fuck that. I just love success.
Right.
So if you trying to get success, or on your way to success, or already obtained success and got some knowledge, I want to talk to you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's it. And I like to just show the city that we have these other people. We got more than just your drill artists. You know what I'm saying? We do got lawyers. Yeah. We got doctors. I have authors come on the show. Yeah. I'm talking to Pandu Hockey. He's supposed to come on the show. So it's like, you know what I mean? We really, man, we out there. You know, y'all had Dr. Umar. That shit is amazing, bro. I just talking to him. I'm trying to hopefully line it up and see if we make, just because I just want to have that conversation. I don't even do this chasing the bag. And some people be mad at me about that because they be expecting you to be monetized and then everybody want the money.
People worry more about the money and not necessarily the product. If you true to your product and really working on your craft, the money will find you.
Exactly.
That's life. Like, and I say that all the time, and people don't really understand what I'm saying. It's like, I was having a conversation with somebody the other day about sports betting. Mm-hmm. And it's like, the most annoying thing you can do with someone who, like, bets on sports or takes anything like that serious is like, yo, bro, what's the locks? Because it's like, yo, I'm going through like real live data or analytics trying to
figure this out, together. And then you just want me to give you everything I just figured out.
And it's like, instead of you basically finding an edge, like I go and find edges. Like I got this fourth quarter play that I do all the time with games. It works for me. Mm-hmm. I got certain teams I bet with all the time when it comes to fourth quarters. I got certain teams, if you follow me on Graham, you know I say it all the time about the Grizzlies. I go against them all the time in the third quarter, depending on where the game is flowing. It's like finding your own edge as opposed to chasing the money. Because if you find the edge and really work on it, the money will just be there.
Big fact.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, because
it's there. The money, like they print the shit.
Right.
It's printers.
Exactly.
Like that, them Jones don't turn
and it's
off.
Unlimited. They print that shit beyond what they supposed to be printing.
You remember when they was backing it by gold? They're backing it by nothing.
It's back by straight paper.
It's just there.
It's just paper money.
Yeah. And sometimes you really, really got to take almost like a step back to take two forward. And people forget that. So it's like with us, Chad say it all the time. We didn't monetize shit with this show for almost 4 years. Do you know the dedication and the like consistency that takes to go 4 years not making a dime? Putting up your own money, doing your own time. And mind you, this isn't 4 years where we was just like not really doing shit. 4 years where we was doing attempts at this and going here and going to other cities and trying to link with these people and doing this and the third. Then we got
picnic and like,
all that shit. Yeah. Then we got to a point
but that's how you gotta do it.
We got to a point where it's like, okay, the conversations and the content, we're good at this.
Right.
This don't need no more. Now we can start basically scaling up.
Exactly.
And building out the framework for what TRPE is going to be.
As a whole.
So then we looked up and it's like, okay, we can go this route. We can do this. We can do this. Now you look where we got 7 or 8 revenue streams from just the show. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But that came with us getting our shit together. And then being able to present something. Because the biggest thing is consistency.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
if you ain't going to have nothing for the people every week, every night, every whatever the fuck you promise, then what? Like I told you about that Pop-Tart shit. Pop-Tarts, Kellogg had to basically run an ad campaign when they first introduced Pop-Tarts because they were such a hit instantly that they sold out everywhere and they weren't ready for that. So they had to do a whole press run of like apologizing to the public. And it's like they almost lost it. Had Post been ready with they shit, they could have like fucked up and Pop-Tarts would have just been like a thing of the past.
Sheesh.
Yeah, you got with this documentary, it's crazy. But you really, you really gotta like know what you doing before you like jump the fuck out there and start being like, pay us or give us money.
Yeah, and then that's where people get lost at because now once you start taking people money, whether you really truly taking their money or it's just through
it creates
revenue,
expectations.
It creates expectations, and now you put yourself in a hole where you don't even know if you can consistently give them what they expect every time because you ain't even been doing this shit that long.
It was funny because our last live show we did, we had our our 6th anniversary big show we did at Noto or whatever, and one of the guys there was like, "Yeah, man, y'all are like all over the place and y'all are high strung." And it's just like, well, yeah, because this shit fall on us. No one's gonna get upset at y'all if this shit don't go right tonight.
Right.
Our name and face is attached to this shit.
Right.
And our reputation. And it's like, y'all, like what the people from the venue didn't understand is y'all are just a conduit for us to get our ideas out. This shit has nothing to do with y'all.
Right.
Like, this shit could have been on, we could have told people we going to be in the parking lot across the street and the same amount of people would have came.
Would have still came,
because they're here for us. They don't have nothing to do with y'all.
Right.
Y'all can either enhance or ruin the experience. That's all y'all can do.
Right.
But y'all are not the reason that nobody's here. But y'all can be the reason that we get cursed out by 450 people.
Right.
If
Yeah.
it don't go right.
You can
So,
ruin the
because
whole
he couldn't
situation.
understand why we were there at like 1 in the afternoon and the show didn't start till like fucking 7. And it was like, well, yeah, because we here for the stage, we're here for the sound setup. I'm up in the booth choreographing the lights and what songs we gonna do at this moment and this and that. And it's just like, yeah, it's a lot to go into this.
And people don't even understand how much
You
work
just show
put
up
into
and it's
this
just
shit.
all you gotta do is have a ball.
Yeah.
But it's like, yo, at the end of the day, here go the crazy part. I know how to do all of that because me and him are 10 shows in and we done already did a tour. So I can walk into a sound booth and talk to the engineer and I know from jump, yo, I want this lighting at this moment. We want to do this.
Got
that,
it
the third,
figured
and
out.
that. We kind of got a system of how we do things
Right.
and how we run. And that just comes with time. You can't walk in on your first show and say, yeah, I want this, I want that, I want this.
Yeah,
this,
you're
and
not
the
gonna
third.
know.
Yeah, because
You're
our
not
first show
gonna
at Punchline, they like, how do y'all want it? We all want it. I'm like, I don't fucking
Yeah,
know.
remember we were just like, hey, man, y'all do this.
These wings is hitting though. Thanks. Thanks for the craft services.
These wings are slapping back here, yeah.
Yeah, man, you
And
gotta
I
learn.
peeped it just going through different situations and doing different shows where, you know, other podcasts where it's like they're, you know, getting into the live show space. And I remember being at a live show and just like, they didn't really understand how to do this or what do you want this? And I'm just like, damn, like and I remember being there. So it's like now I can walk into a venue and literally like people don't even dig it. Me and Chad was basically directing them on chair setup, stage setup, what this is gonna do. Remember, we was readjusting sections. No, pull this out, put that over there, because then that's gonna give you a better view of sight from this. We know we can do this up top on the mat. And to the point where like even the in-house producer was just like, y'all niggas do this. Chad, like, I mean, I'm a promoter. Like I've done events. So you doing the remember at the art gallery?
Yeah.
He was like,
They used to
yeah,
get
so
a
we
spot,
gonna,
too.
he was like, we're gonna put 200 seats on this. And I'm like, you can't get 200 fucking seats in here. He was like, yes, we can. I literally went and got the tape measure. He was like, he's doing way too fucking
Did all the
much.
math.
So I'm over there with the tape measure. Mind you, he literally is over there with the owner of the art gallery. They're talking, and they're like already on like what they doing as far as food and drinks. I'm still like, hold
You
this,
still on
hold
them
this.
200
Hold this.
I gotta see for myself.
Put this 200 to the test.
So then when I bounce into the chairs actually cave or whatever, and I'm like, how many chairs is that? He's like, that's 200. And I'm just like, you got them all in there. He was like, man, I told you 2 weeks ago. I'm like, but you gotta go through it to experience it. And then once
Big
you
fact.
do it, you can almost, what's the nigga, beat steady knocking, all the hoes jocking. What's that song?
Gorillas up.
Gorilla Zoe.
jocking.
What'd he say? I don't need a scale. I can eyeball weight. Like you
Yeah.
get to the point with this shit, you can eyeball it.
Facts.
You don't need tape measures and scale. You know already this is how it's gonna go, and that just comes from working at
It come with putting in the time, bro. And that's where I be at. I'm more so focused on putting in that time and becoming what you choose to be, becoming that great, where you just so perfect, or at least the people look at you so perfect, they know what they getting when they come to you. That blue magic effect. You know what I'm
you got
saying?
a level that you know you're not going beneath.
Yeah, you got that blue magic, that Denzel, that man, this is a product. What do you say? This is
a brand name. I stand by it.
Exactly.
And
So
that's-
you put
that's-
that name in, you got it. You put
that's
that time
one
in.
thing I'm more proud of with more than anything when it comes to like this,
Mm-hmm.
where our content, our conversations, our ability to get our thoughts and feelings out have gotten so much better, and they're so crisp to where we have poignant moments just unlike like pushed neither. There is no machine behind this shit. But
Right.
when you look up and we got like all these pieces of content that are just all over the internet, that says a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
Somebody was saying it the other day, was like, yo, how crazy is it? It's like just seeing that LeBron video go where it goes, that's speaking off no notes,
Yeah, I
no
seen the LeBron
teleprompter.
joint. That was
He's
hard.
like, you know, when skipping them do the joint, this motherfuckers telling them what
They
to say.
reading all
And
that.
Shannon Sharp was like, yeah, because they gave me this right here. This is no notes. So it's like seeing his Jay Prince video go all over the fucking internet. This is no notes.
Right.
This is just us having a conversation.
That's the reason why we be so great. That be the reason why all these companies and they reach out to us for the talent after we get to these points, because we do a lot of shit from the muscle.
Yeah.
We learn on our own, and we got vicious muscle memory.
Exactly.
So all this shit, you
Dog.
just tight off the rip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We come off the hip with this shit,
Yeah.
and it be magical.
Yeah.
They're like, ain't nobody behind behind them cue cards and none of that shit.
I'd love to
and
have
they
a
able to
teleprompter.
keep all
You
that.
know what I'm saying? Love it.
We do it like all
fucking
them
up
people got
words and shit.
handicaps. Yeah, all them people got handicaps. So it's like when you are able to have your talent to the T with none of those handicaps, you a fucking GOAT. You special. You know what I'm saying? So automatically once you get to that point, they hollering at you because they know you easy. This is an automatic bag. Yeah. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to teach them anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? They
it's
got
just plug
this
and
shit.
play. Just go ahead.
And they going. They going automatically. They going to pop. We ain't got to worry about it. We ain't got to coach them, tell them to do this. Man, they love us. That's why they love us.
Yeah, we got a situation right now pending with a network where we went looking for this person, and we made a brief connection, like hey, we so da 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 da.
I ain't gonna hold you. I felt kind of brushed off.
We got super brushed off.
I felt kind of brushed off.
But then a friend of ours that even broached the conversation revisited it, and then the person was like, "Oh no, I'm looking for them. Like I need to get in contact with them. Like set up whatever you got to set up so I can speak to them because we need to set up a meeting." And I'm just like, "Oh shit!" Like, and when I seen it, and then I saw the eagerness of once I hit him on email and how fast he responded, and he's like, "No, hit me on this day because we gonna set up a meeting." And I'm just like, "Damn!" Like. All right, this feels different than when I met you back in January.
Gotta get another suit.
And it's like we're having a lot of those like deja vu kind of like moments where it's like you're revisiting certain situations, but it feels different on the second go round.
Yeah,
once it's the universe, bro. When you align certain shit, the first time some things come to you, it don't be aligned just right. Isn't it? You're really not ready for that blessing.
It's like a car from the auction on Woodland Ave.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
alignment ain't right.
It ain't right.
Yeah.
And then you swung back, and this time the alignment is fixed.
Africans done got to
They
it.
done got to
Moose
it.
and them
They done did some. This shit feel a little different. Feel a little better. You know what I mean? And that's what it be like. You get these type of chances and opportunities, and sometimes you be thinking you want them early on, and you really don't.
Yeah.
You fuck around, put yourself in a hole
really
that you
can't
couldn't
handle
get
it.
out.
Yeah.
Right.
You really not prepared. Your life's not in order to stay with this content
I
schedule.
swear to
Exactly.
you, I was having a conversation to myself, right? And exactly what you just said. Like, what if an opportunity would have came 9 months into us podcasting?
Yeah.
Would we really have understood, one, who we are? Not necessarily who you are as a person, but who you are as a podcaster
Right.
doing this.
Your brand, what you're
Would you
building.
have understood what we're doing, where we're going, the trajectory, our worth, our value, our intellect?
How to calculate the value?
You wouldn't even understand it. Even down to literally, we had the conversation amongst me and him literally 2 days ago. Already, like, got an entertainment lawyer on the hook. Where it's just like, would you even have known to like go
go get an entertainment
and
lawyer.
just you have to like crawl before you walk.
And that's
And
all
I
it
think
is.
we forget that at a lot because what we see a lot of walkers who don't know how to crawl.
Right.
And then you realize, like I say all the time with social media, a lot of this shit is walking for the gram. But then the camera go away, and you realize this motherfucker don't even crawl.
And they still crawling, or they still trying to figure it out. And some people, man, sometimes you see people that's walking and you didn't see the part where they were crawling.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
that's 'cause
So
it didn't
we
happen.
always judging.
Reality.
We always judging shit off the finished product. Like, damn, I want that. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? You don't know the work that went in to get that. The Breakfast Club, they say, what that shit, 15 years in?
Yeah.
So I had to think, I was like, damn, I've been watching since then.
Yeah.
Because I really was watching since like 2011,
Yeah.
2010.
Yep.
I've been locked in on Breakfast Club.
It's
so
funny
that's how
'cause,
like much I've been in
we
that
had
shit.
Lawrence Killebrew here yesterday. Shout out to him. And basically we was talking about like comedy or whatever. And like one thing we kind of broached was people think Kevin Hart was like this overnight success. And it's just like, oh, Kev started in the trenches. Like Patrice O'Neal threw a phone book at that nigga on stage. like that nigga went through the trenches to get to that shit. You know what I mean?
Seriously. And you go back and watch his old movies and see all the
Yeah.
Kev was
you
in
see all the
Scary Movie
small
3.
roles
Yeah.
he played.
Yeah.
He played a shitload of tiny roles.
Listen, he played even more than that. He played in so many bad movies that you don't even know exist unless
Big
you
fact.
go on Tubi or to the bottom underground part of
And you
Peacock.
find them
And then you find them Jones, you gotta go through another app to get to the app. Like,
Listen.
and it's 14 of them
You gotta
Jones.
go to another app from the app.
Listen, and Kevin Hart's so popping that all
Peacock
them,
Dark.
he's so popping that they start re-putting out them old ass corny movies too.
Hell yeah.
Just for his
Because
5-minute ass
that's
joint.
the benefit of having a content library.
Right.
If I get in on your shit early and you pop all this old shit coming out.
Now we get some more
When
money.
Sim Santana popped off, I told all the little dirty rappers from Philly, I went on Twitter, I said, yo, all dirty rappers from Philly, get y'all 3,000 to 5,000s up and go and get you a record with Sim Santana and hold that bitch. And soon as Flexing and Flashing go gold or platinum, put y'all shit out
And
and,
there
go
you lit.
eat, my nigga.
Yeah.
None of them took my fucking advice. The shit is like double platinum at this point, and it's
Yeah.
like he ain't had no big record since, but it's like, yo,
That one
the
joint would have got
American
you out
would
there.
have got you at least a little 50 to 100 bands. You would have spent 3 to 5 and made 50 to 100.
Yeah.
You could have tricked somebody into thinking you was dope. Like, y'all didn't even take the time, and niggas don't be understanding, yo, you gotta come to the gym and put the motherfucking shots up in order to be prepared to take that shot in the big game. Niggas don't be understanding this shit. They just want the end result of just being blanketly successful. What are you prepared to do to actually get successful?
Right.
Usually the answer is not much.
Yeah, no, it's real. People would think they really ready, man. You really not ready. Like
Fuck no.
the shit you go through. Like even when I first started the show, it's a lot of interviews that y'all never seen that's not even out that I got in the tuck. Not even that they in the tuck because I want them to be there. I just wasn't ready. I'm interviewing people every week. I'm trying to edit and upload. I'm doing it all myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to go through that to learn how to do it this time. So that's the reason why it wasn't supposed to pop off back then. I was too immature. I wasn't ready. I want to go do all the camera shit. Now it come to editing. I don't want to edit. You know what I mean? I don't want to sit here and go through all
And
this.
that's really the hard part, is the editing more so than shooting. The shooting is
the
easy.
shooting is easy. Now doing all that other shit, the promoting, the marketing, and
Yeah, that's where you working
and
at.
editing and putting the finishing touches and the details and the logos. Bro, this shit get extensive behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? It
I
gets
kind of want
crazy.
your opinion on this news that I just got. According to the Hollywood Reporter, Beyonce and Adidas are parting ways.
Oh, I believe it.
Apparently, there were several creative differences between Ivy Park and Adidas. The news follows after a reported revenue loss of more than 50% last year, missing a number of sales targets.
Yeah, I was about
Dark
to say.
for Adidas.
It,
Dark.
was already said that it didn't do good. The Ivy Park shit didn't do good.
I mean, because
And the
no
real
one
number-
wants to wear chaps to the fucking mall.
Assless chaps.
Assless chaps to the mall makes zero fucking sense.
yeah.
And they missed where Ivy Park. They got off to a great start with the partnership.
The
Where they-
initial joint
yeah,
was awesome.
was all that. Where they missed their mark at was, at some point, the creative director of her line thought that all of her fans were glam girls rather than like working women. Like the majority of the women that support Beyonce, probably 85% of them are working class, regular women who aspire to get to her level rather than the glam girls that exist in that world and around that orbit already. So I say that to say a working class woman with 2 daughters can't afford a $600 coat most times.
And they got, some of them got big backs. So it's like,
we gotta widen that cutout a little bit to get them backs in there.
it's the truth. Like those. It's funny you say that because I've gone to Beyonce concerts.
Yeah.
And when you get there, you realize like those like them chicks that all like
The super
pray
bad
to
ones?
Dior and all of
They not at the Beyonce show.
They're at the Future show.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. They're at the Future show and the Drake show. But when you go to Beyonce show, you realize it's like heavy set white women with Crocs and jean shorts. I'm not bullshit.
Yeah. So there's
That's
a
crazy.
disconnect.
Our whole section at the Beyonce concert, the last one we went to at the Link, it was like 6 black people, and like we was in like the 106 section.
Yeah.
It was like 6 blacks in the whole section and young motherfuckers.
That's crazy.
So it's like you can't sell that white woman's who's a mother of 4 or whatever. Her fashion sensibility doesn't tell her it's okay to buy a $250 t-shirt.
Yeah, it
like,
don't add
so
up.
so there's a clear disconnect between the brand positioning and the actual consumer that it's made for. Because like he said, the young girls aren't in tune with Beyonce to that extent to where they want to buy that shit. They gonna go buy all of the Wait a Minute clothes though. They gonna go buy all of the Ari fucking whatever clothing line she got,
Like,
and the
Fenty
Shane
line.
Justice and this and
I
that.
see young girls in the wrestler outfits with the moons. What's that shit called?
Marine Sayre.
Yeah, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. I
The
rarely
wrestling shit with the moons.
It, they like
with the all over
it be
print.
the little moon,
Yeah.
the whole
joint.
shit be
Yeah,
little moons.
it's a bodysuit, right?
Yeah, I see that shit.
No,
all the time.
actually, it's two pieces,
It's
but
two
it
pieces.
looks like a bodysuit.
That shit go all the way
I
to
see,
the-
I see chicks in that shit all the time. I've never just seen a woman in like a full Ivy Park joint just out.
I
Because
never
you
even
gonna
knew
look
what that
like
shit was.
Missy Elliott or some shit, and that's
facts,
not
though.
the vibe.
With the
Like,
stripes. That's what they need, though. They should holler at Missy. I think that'll be a good collab.
That's the perfect
You gonna
collab.
look like
You
Missy
know what
Elliott.
the problem is, though? These corporations, though, they always miscalculate this shit. They are totally disconnected because
Yeah.
they're not part of the community. So it's like, all right, they just said the Power episode just did like a 2.3 million views or something.
On cable TV, that's
on
crazy.
the first joint. Yeah, it's the biggest joint Stars ever had.
Yeah.
But you know, Stars will treat, or at least they was treating Power like the minority when it got there. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like they're worried about the Game of Thrones shit and they want to create shows like that. So they created that Serpent joint or some shit with the white woman.
Yeah.
Queen
Bullshit
shit.
that nobody cares
Yeah,
about.
bullshit that nobody cares about. So it's like you keep thinking that the black shows and all that shit be the minority when that shit really is the goal.
That's the culture.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody fucks with what we fuck with.
What they don't be realizing is that we dictate what's cool.
Exactly.
And until they start getting some millennial aged black, white, Hispanic, could be Asian representation in these power positions at these networks and all
You
that.
always
And
gonna
these
have a
corporations,
disconnect.
they're going to keep having a disconnect and keep missing the fucking mark. The big loss that Adidas took that nobody's talking about, that kind of predates all of these floundering moves and all this shit, is John Wexler left. John Wexler was the global creative director for Adidas. And he's the one that went out there and did a deal with Pharrell, did a deal with Pusha T, did a deal with Kanye, did a deal with Beyonce.
He understood.
So he understood. So basically you lose. It's basically like if I'm an artist and I get signed and a certain A&R signs me and then he leave the label and then the label shelf me because they don't understand me. My liaison and my mouthpiece isn't here no more. So now I gotta go and try to navigate my way through a corporate structure that don't even want me here.
Right.
So it's the same thing in fashion. It's like, yo, if the person that brought you in is not here no more, and then y'all just like, oh yeah, we could charge more. All right, cool, 600, and then the CEO is just going for it, and there's nobody pushing back. Like that's not your core audience. The data and the statistics show something different. To push back with real tangible information. This is how you lose $750 million or whatever the fuck
they
on this
crazy.
line.
I could be wrong. We might need Devin Milan part 2. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
could be wrong. But I personally think that with hip hop and black music in particular, you know, we kind of dictate what it is and what it always is going to be as far as the cool shit, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like through the 90s into the early 2000s, there was a level of like high fashion that didn't exist.
That's a fact.
You understand what I'm saying? So like you had Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang wasn't wearing high fashion. They was wearing RP55, Polo. That's where the whole, what was the niggas who was stealing all the Polo shit?
the Low Lives.
The Low Lives and all of that shit. So that's where you get a lot. I remember what's the name came on the Yo MTV Vaps with the Alpina Polo shirt and all. You get all of that. Then when Biggie and Puff and them got it, it was like Coogee sweaters.
Versace shirts.
Versace shirts. And it was like, we want to look like that. When Jay and Damon them got it was big ass jeans and jerseys and do-rags.
Right.
So there wasn't no real out of this world high fashion, not even necessarily the cost, but there wasn't like a high fashion, what is this cut, what is this material? It wasn't none of that.
Right.
And now, since that's been introduced through people like Pharrell, Virgil, Kanye,
That make
now
you
you
wanna go
realize
that extra.
the biggest artists in the game don't really dictate fashion. No one wants to look like Drake.
Right.
And I think Beyonce kind of falls into that same joint.
Yeah.
People want to look like Kanye and Rihanna.
Exactly.
Because they are fashion inclined people.
Right.
But you have no one that wants to look like Kendrick.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Unless you a lifer. That's
like,
the
you've
only
been
way you
listening
would
to
dress
Kendrick for
like
life,
Kendrick.
yeah.
You get where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Where it's
No,
like
you spot on.
Yeah, no.
there's a big difference between you being like the poppin' artist and then somebody dope in the fashion world. Because
Right.
that's all. Remember when Meek became like the coat god?
Yeah.
You didn't even put that with the music. championships is over here and his coats is over here.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's kind of where it is now. So I look at Beyonce.
I still want that fire joint he had with the red, with the
with the print on it. Yeah.
with the joint.
So I look at Beyonce where she's the biggest and most notable artist on earth, and her performances and energy are out of this world. But I don't really look at her like the way Rihanna.
Exactly.
Like
On a fan level, the women aspire to have her life, not her lifestyle.
Fact.
They're not
There
taking
you go.
lifestyle cues from Beyonce. They're looking at it like, you married a billionaire, you a billionaire, you got these beautiful kids, you got
the best
$170
entertainer
million
alive.
house, you the best entertainer alive, you did the opera, and like they're looking at that stuff. They're not looking at like,
but then you see Rihanna at the Super Bowl and you like, this performance sucks. But look at them boots.
right, we got them Solomons on.
Yeah, it's like every
You see what
artist,
I exactly? That's funny as shit.
it's like every artist is known for their own little thing. Like you said, like Drake could be the hottest rapper alive, but
he's the
definitely
biggest
not-
and best shit out.
definitely
But
not
I'm,
wearing what Drake
but
wears.
I'm
Nobody's
not
trying to
buying,
just
and I'm a
wear-
sneaker nigga, but I'm not buying the Noctras.
Yeah, the Nocta,
Nocta, Noctras, whatever they call.
the bedpan 33s or
Nike
whatever
joints.
the hell they is.
Yeah.
the Nocta shit got some good shit though. They got some.
No, the clothes is fire.
Yeah,
But I'm talking about them sneaks that
Sneaks?
look like Griffey 2s.
Yeah,
I'm
nah,
not
I ain't
buying
touching
them.
The
the
sneaks ain't it.
I remember
more the
years
jacket.
ago I
The
had a
orthopedics,
post
the
that,
orthopedic Drakes.
I had a
ain't
post
it.
on Twitter. Somebody had posted they had like they was like, yeah, I got like can't nobody fuck me with the Timbs. And he had like all his trees lined up in the bed. And it was like a blue pair, a yellow pair, a white pair, a like salmon pair. And I was like, when you come to your aunt crib and realize she fucking Drake, that's like all these ugly ass Timbs.
And Drake did keep some ugly.
Yeah,
ass
ugly
shit.
ass
He definitely
boots.
had the white jaws. I remember them joints.
I remember I tweeted this shit years ago. I'm like,
Fuck
yo,
the
this,
Hot Bling video.
dog. I was like, this is really where we at.
What
The
are the
best
jokes?
rapper in the game is a nigga from Alaska in white boots.
Bro.
Like this shit is crazy.
He really dressed the worst though. Like they showed
But
this
yeah,
video.
like no one wants to. Whereas like you look at somebody like who can I put in that boat?
As what,
Lil
dress code?
Baby. Like Lil Baby pushes the line all the time, and
Yeah.
whenever he does something, you see people like, "What's that coat? What's them shoes?
Yeah.
What's them boots?" Like that's kind of the way it goes. Lil Wayne was it for a minute, as far as like not high fashion, but like just the
That
aesthetic
different
in
look.
pieces.
Yeah.
That look of what is this? What is that? Okay, but once Kanye, Pharrell, and Virgil kind of like
Like, all right, niggas,
Really
time for y'all
took
to
it
stop
there?
dressing
Yeah.
terrible.
they took it over there to where you got like niggas like Game rapping about Tom Ford jeans and shit like that, where
Right.
that was never happening. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And now since we have a high fashion universe, that real deal, when you talk about Louis Vuitton is run by the nigga who made Grindin'. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now you got that shit introduced into the hip hop world where you got these, what Devin Milan say, you got street brands that are considered luxury.
Yep.
Bait, Supreme, all of this shit is like luxury now. So you can't really just come out here in some regular degular shit and like Biggie with the Coogee sweater and Wallabies wouldn't have made it in this because it's like, we're not wearing that shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lil Baby
it
got
changes.
on Bottega head to toe, nigga. Like,
Yeah.
you can't survive.
Lil Baby
Yeah.
got all the Louis Air Force Ones and
Yeah.
shit like that. Like, it's just a different
different.
ball game.
Yeah, it's different.
So when you look at Method Man and them coming to do a performance back in the day where nigga had on a first down the same
And some
jacket
Fat
I
Farm
had,
jeans.
yeah, for $110 from City Blue. It's like it's just different now.
Yeah,
So when
it's
you go into selling fashion to the world, you kind of gotta no bullshit. Why do you think Drake hasn't done it? Because it's like he know.
Because he ain't got it.
I-
He ain't got it.
Yeah.
He don't have the background to be a fashion dude.
But you
that's
remember
why
at
he
one
could push
point,
Nike.
everybody dropped clothes.
Right.
Outkast was selling velours.
Yeah.
Fucking Nelly.
Nelly had the
Nelly
Vogue
had
Apple
two
bottom.
clothing lines.
Nelly
Yeah,
had the
apple bottom.
vocals, the apple bottoms, all
Yeah.
that shit. Eminem had a joint, didn't he?
Yeah.
Shady and shit. Like
That shit was awful.
awful.
That shit was like shit mechanics wear.
Shit, 50 did it too. The G Unit wear.
Yeah,
He
G
was rolling.
Yeah, I
You
had
put
the
a
G Unit
shady
shit,
velour on though. You definitely about to go out the county to get cheese.
It's some Vikings.
Yeah,
some
nah,
Vikes.
I'm going to McDade Boulevard. I'm fucking with radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just Beyonce, for as lit as she is as an individual entertainer and as a family woman and all of that, I think the high fashion women of like Rihanna and all of that, it kind of trumps.
Right. No, I agree.
To make it make sense, where Rihanna is literally sitting with a $1.7 billion valuation on her company, and Adidas is like, You go on, get out. Like, you see what I'm saying? So that's not even me hating. That's just being real.
That's facts.
Yeah,
Adidas is like, yeah, look, we can't even afford to keep you around.
This is stupid because I'm sure her deal was so egregiously front loaded. They like at this point
And
we just gotta cut our
the numbers
losses.
that's probably why the numbers had to be high.
Exactly.
For Beyonce.
It costs a check. You know what I'm saying? Her husband, Jay-Z, she owned her masters. Like, it's a different negotiation. But it's like, y'all was negotiating against yourself because nobody else with sense. Reebok wasn't like, all right, cool, $50 million a year, bet. Like, because they knew what that was. Her husband run Puma. They wasn't dying to do a deal with her.
Man.
This shit ain't gonna sell. We saw what happened with Darion, nigga. Like,
Damn, yeah, they didn't think about that.
they didn't think about that. They
didn't
just
think
looking
about
at
that.
influence.
And
that's where they got lost.
Yo,
at.
you like even down to that, like the Darion was a complete no.
Yeah, that shit fell.
Completely no.
Her and Tina making the worst clothes you
Dog.
ever seen.
That
Dog.
shit fell.
Dog.
That's wild. When you think about that, they really did.
Great
Because
bottom jeans with that with the boots with the fur. Like that's really where that shit was at.
Yo.
Like the Darion joint was a big swing and a miss.
Yeah. So I mean, but that's the thing. People be aiming at that, like you said, the celebrity. They looking at
Yeah, they
this
looking
is
at the
Beyonce.
global influence and not like, well, what's your influence level like on
in fashion. Yeah.
Because for that same money, you could have got A$AP Rocky, Luka Sabat, Tiana Teller. You could have got people that real deal is in that
fashion,
world
yeah.
in fashion and just had a bunch of base hits, doubles, and triples. Y'all was trying to hit a grand slam and struck out.
And struck all the way out. Yeah. Dug a hole, a vicious hole. And then they in a super hole because they got Kanye shit and they got this Beyonce shit that they can't get rid of.
The Kanye shit at least will sell at some point. The Beyonce shit is never selling.
But the issue with the Kanye shit is that what? They can't sell it because he's not associated?
If he's not attached to it, then it has no value.
Right.
So they got to do something, you know what I'm saying?
So they literally can't just go and sell the Yeezys because they no longer
No, they
have
can,
any
but just people won't buy it. Like, the shit is still up. People won't buy it.
Okay.
Kanye's fans are fans.
Yeah.
You
So if you're not fucking with Kanye, we ain't fucking with you either.
Yeah, Kanye's fan, like his true fans, they are like,
They different.
they
ride.
mobilize for and mobilize against.
And
they don't fuck around.
You know what his fan base has that I don't think a lot of people realize? Money, bro. His fans got a lot of fucking money. It's 18, 22, 24-year-old Jewish kids and all that got their father's a billionaire and shit like that. That's who his fans are.
Yeah.
We saw it. We went to the Kanye and Drake show in LA at the benefit concert they did for Larry Hoover. It's all fucking.
Oh, you went to that joint?
Yeah, we went to that joint. We sat like front row.
Yeah.
That shit was like, bro, it was literally like all 17 to 28-year-old millennial white kids. 90%
That's an
of it.
epic show to go to.
Yeah, it was
That
dope.
joint
The
had
show
me
was
crazy.
awesome, but it wasn't many. You think Kanye, Drake, LA? It was like it wasn't niggas.
And that shit was in the hood
Right,
too.
right.
It was on
Yeah, we was
USC
in
campus.
Inglewood.
We in the hood.
Yeah, no, not Inglewood. It's
It's West LA.
right, yeah, like 'cause USC. Exactly.
Yeah, USC, West
And
LA.
it was not. It wasn't like going to Powerhouse,
Right.
where it was a bunch of like. It was literally like Armenian hoes running around, like Armenian.
It was
prostitutes.
super
Like,
multicultural.
yeah, super duper like that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy.
So Kanye specific because I'm even though there was a show with them together, I'm highlighting Kanye because it was a different energy when he came out versus when Drake came out. It felt totally different.
Yeah,
like we in a stadium with an outdoor football stadium with 80,000 people. The shit is shaking when Kanye came out. Yeah.
Listen, I
Literally.
say it to this day. When he did that Black Skinhead record, it changed my whole view of the song. I couldn't believe it was like almost scary. Dog, I'm not joking with you,
that's
dog.
crazy.
That and New Slave, when they came on, I was like, oh, Yeezy. Because it's funny, because Rolling Stone, when they
New
did
Slave
the top
joint's heavy.
50 rap albums of all time, Yeezus was ahead of Reasonable Doubt. It was ahead of Ready to Die. It was ahead of fucking Illmatic. Not Illmatic. What was the second one?
It was written.
It was written. Like, Yeezus was high as fuck. And I remember seeing, I was just like, what the fuck is Yeezus? Just like,
Why is it so high?
Why is this
Why is this
higher
on the
than-
list?
Why is this higher than Kanye's other albums? But when I'm not joking, dog. I was like, yo, maybe we just missed Black Skinhead and New Say. When that shit came on, them people went.
They go
fucking
crazy.
Crazy, dog.
Yeah, they dig into it a
Crazy.
little different than we dig into it.
The Black Skinhead, New Slaves, and Bam, 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 bam.
Oh,
Bound
Bound
2. When that came on, they went
That's
fucking
strong.
nuts.
That's a good joint too.
And what happened with Kanye is that a lot of people didn't realize he was ahead of the curve on the live performance shit. And he started making music suited for, because he was performing
For
at
the live
Wireless
performance.
and all these global festivals and all of that, and seeing what people pop to versus what they didn't necessarily know. And he started making albums that were catered to stadium level performances. So that's why Yeezus sounds the way it does, where it's more stripped down, because you leave room for call and response and for the audience to fill in a lot of that dead space with their reactions. And this is why can't nobody fuck with Kanye. The nigga's a musical
He really a genius. He really is a genius. Though.
I'm telling you, Bound 2 is on Yeezus.
Yeah.
Everything he played from Yeezus got the biggest.
It
pops
went
in that
crazy.
crowd. It
And he
went
literally said
absolutely
about
dumb.
Yeezus, he said, I intentionally screwed up the track listing on that album in order to force people to dislike it initially to find the stuff that they loved later on. He said, because if I put Bound 2 and Blood on the Leaves 1 and 2, it changes the whole trajectory of the album.
Right.
Nobody's talking about it because it's just another great Kanye album.
Right.
He said, but the fact that I put Black Skinhead and New Slaves and all that at the top, it tricks people's ears into like, I fucking hate this shit. This shit is terrible. And then as you listen to it, and then you get to the shit with the
Then
soul
you see
in it,
some good shit in it too.
and then now you go back to the initial songs like, was I tripping? And then you feel
It
different.
requires you to really listen.
And even like me with New Slave, I liked it, but it was like, even when the beat changed, when you hear that live, you get exactly the sense of what you're saying. Hearing it live, when that beat changed and it brings in that like old school soul fit, and hearing that at a crowd with people singing along with
It changes the whole
it's
energy
like,
behind it.
I was literally like, that shit felt like triumphant. That shit is crazy.
The crazy part, when you listen to music at a concert or live versus listening to it, it definitely changes your whole view of the record. Like if especially if they perform it right, like it changes his whole vibe.
I wasn't even really going crazy about what was Kanye's last album, Donda. I wasn't really crazy about, like, I wasn't even like really getting into listening to it. I had maybe breezed through it, skimmed through it, but then you get in there and he starts doing shit from Donda. When he did Jail,
Donda was good.
You just like, oh man. When Drake came out, like when they switched, because Kanye came out and did like, I'm gonna say he did like 15 songs. Then Drake came out and ran through pretty much all of CLB. But when Drake first came out as like an ode to each other, remember Kanye did what Drake?
Find Your Love.
Find Your Love. Because Kanye actually
Produced that joint.
Wrote and produced it.
So Kanye did Find Your Love, and then Drake came out and did 24 from the Donda album. Drake performed, Tom Flowers was like, Drake performing 24 was like, yo, I think I love this fucking record. And it made me really view it in a new
In
light.
a whole different way.
And then he ran through CLB, and then when Kanye came back out, pack it up, nigga. It was the nigga came out to niggas
70
in Paris.
hits.
He did Mercy. He just was running them joints. Like, it was
Kanye got
nuts.
joints for days.
For
bro.
days.
For days.
different
Like
animal.
even just him and that Jay-Z joint with him and Jay, like that Watch the Throne, bro. I don't think niggas talk about that enough.
Nigga.
Watch
No,
the
they don't.
Throne is crazy.
I said on
You know
the
what I
joint
mean?
with
Like,
Clint
that
that Watch
joint
the
is
Throne is one of the
crazy.
best J.I. He was like, oh, you're Trump. I'm like, no. Watch the
like,
Throne.
yo, everything
was
about that
rapping on
joint.
that
Watch the Throne was
Yeah.
excellent, man. That was a good ass
Bro,
album.
it don't get mentioned so much. I forget about it at times.
Yeah.
Cause it's so great. I'm willing to listen to that anytime.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's no misses on that joint.
Yeah.
Nobody beating Kanye in the verses, I don't think. Maybe Birdman.
Yeah, that's a hard joint.
But
I don't know who would go against Jay. That's a fuck.
I mean, the
it
matchup
probably had to be
is
Drake.
him
It had to be
and Drake. It's him and Drake.
Yeah, it had to be Drake.
It's him and Drake. That would be the most entertaining one. It'll never happen.
It had to be Drake.
For a number of reasons, it'll never happen. But that would be the payoff. Like
Yeah.
that would be like the ultimate verses, like the verses that end them all.
the verses
Drake
of the
versus
millennium.
Jay. Like,
Yeah. Nah, that'd be stupid.
I ain't gonna hold you, man. I was there, man. I remember when Kanye cut on Find Your Dream Come True, that joint. And I wonder when that bass hit,
And I wonder.
that Kanye got a lot. He got a lot.
And the production.
He did
boy.
Runaway. That shit was crazy. What
remember
else
when
got
that
a
came
crazy
out.
ass pop? He had another joint that had a really dumb ass pop.
What, like the 808s and Heartbreaks joint?
No, wasn't nothing from that. Damn, y'all gonna make me look
Dark
through
Twisted
this shit
Fantasies. Like he got Ye is a hard joint to talk about. He got too much work. I'm waiting on Friday and Yeezy to do something.
Oh, Flashing Lights.
Oh,
When
yeah.
that came on, yeah, like Kanye got a lot of fucking records, man. It'd be hard to beat him in that. But, you know, like I said,
Did y'all listen to the gospel album?
I never
Sunday Choir joint?
I never even
Yeah.
thought to listen to it.
You gotta listen to the Sunday Choir joint. That thing, I'm telling you, if you don't listen to gospel music, you're gonna still put that joint in your playlist.
Gotcha.
It's vicious.
I'm
like
gonna give
that.
it a play just
And
because you said it. 'Cause
I don't even think you.
I liked Ye, and a lot of people didn't like Ye.
Yeah, I hate it, yeah.
But you know, Ty Dolla was instrumental in a lot of that shit. So, and you can really feel it and hear it in a lot of. If you like Ty Dolla,
Yeah.
you gonna like it.
You're gonna hear it. Yeah.
I'm gonna give Ye another play and I'm gonna listen to the gospel album.
The gospel joint, I don't think you hear any Ye on there, but the production, the way it's just put together, he did his thing with that. It sets itself apart. If you just listen to that joint, man, that joint touch your soul.
Like if you,
Seriously.
I can speak for the Ye joint. Like if you listening to it, expecting like that Kanye who can be kind of like deep, it's not.
Gotcha.
Right.
But it's like that. The girl you super model thing. Like you can really feel Ty Dolla's influence on like every fucking song, and it's Jay just being like a complete asshole on every record.
Yeah, for 7 songs.
If I pull up with a Stormy Daniels dish, like he just was talking shit every fucking record. So
Just
I
stunting
like
on
yeah,
him.
yeah. But you got anything else over there?
I just want to get into before we wrap up. I've been seeing you've been rolling out a new series, Mental Millionaire. More introspective, more business driven, more insightful. And it's just like a 1-to-1, like it's you talking to the audience. What can people expect to see and hear from that going forward?
Yeah, the Mental Millionaire. So I put out a couple little just self-made podcasts.
Shorts,
yeah,
yeah.
some little shorts. They just me trying to give some inspiration in a sense, because I think that becoming a millionaire is really a mental thing. As much as people try to put it on business, it's more about your mentality. So I think we gotta start getting into that. So what I want to do with that whole thing is start going to actual businesses. We got it all lined up. We got a few businesses already lined up, but you know it's cold out here.
Yeah,
Niggas don't
yeah.
like being out in the cold,
Right.
so I don't want to do it really until it start to warm up. But it'll really just more be about how people built their businesses and what they went through mentally to get to those points. You know what I mean? All the things that really just took behind the scenes to make those dreams come true.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think it's talked about. It's talked about. You get a whole lot of
lying about that.
inspirational videos and clips. A lot of that shit is just, you know, people just spewing and just talking out their ass. I want to go talk to the dude who owned the barbershop. And where was you at when you got to this place mentally? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How did you deal with this and how did you deal with that and what you went through? And what's the steps to do is for the next person that want to do it.
Absolutely.
So Mental Millionaire is just about people who are mentally millionaires. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to have $1 million to be a mental millionaire. You know what I'm saying? You can hold yourself as a millionaire where you're doing things in order to get to that place at some point.
So it's really just about being very intentional in your thought processes and
Right.
training yourself for the success that you want.
Exactly, because it's I feel like, man, this shit is a mental game. And if you can unlock your mental
Yeah.
and really
Get out your own way.
get out your own way, like you create routines that have no choice but to end in success, you will find success.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like you could build the best business, but if your mental is wrong, that shit is going to drown.
Falter, yeah.
You know what I mean? You got a lot of people that had a lot of great things, but if your mental not right, that shit ain't never going to see the day of light. Like, you know what I'm saying? The light of day. So that's what Mental Millionaire is. Just talking about those things that we have to be mentally in order to get to success.
No, I respect
Yeah.
that.
Dope, man.
for sure,
We
for
appreciate your time today, bro. It's been a great show. We're going to be on Cooking Up real soon.
Let me ask you this: the
Definitely.
name "Cooking Up." Where is it? What is the?
Cooking Up just came about because it was always like, you know, we talk slang, you know, what
Like,
you
do y'all
got
be
cooking?
cooking?
Yeah, we cook.
Like actual food?
We actually have, like, the crazy part, man, I used to cook most of the times back when we first started the show. So we would have a model come through and she, you know, either she'll really cook or I'll cook and she pretend like she cooked it in the second half of the show, and we'll sit down and eat and talk. And the whole concept for real came about because where we actually shoot it at is my mom's crib, which is like my crib. You know, I grew up in that house. So it's like we always had people over, family over. Like my family is huge.
Okay.
We know a shitload of people. It's always a good time in the kitchen.
Congregated at your house.
Yeah, the kitchen is where life happened, and the vibes and energy that we used to have in there. It was like, man, this shit is so good. If I could get this to the world, they would love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Like the
we're
conversations
coming
we
on your
have
show
is so
next week. Are
real.
y'all gonna be cooking?
Yeah, you gonna get a meal.
I don't like spices.
You gonna eat. You don't like
Yeah,
spices?
I ain't really big
I'm
on spices.
gonna tell the chef, you know what I'm saying? I just talked to the chef and he got some good shit too. He cook good. And that's what I love about the show too, is like when it comes to the chef, even when it comes to talent, I like good stories more than anything.
Right.
And because of course we building up, so we always gotta kinda lean on people with bigger followings and shit. But I love being able to put somebody on that don't really got the spotlight. So the chef that's coming, he don't got a vicious foul on, but his food is immaculate. You know what I
Speak for
mean?
itself.
It's going to speak for itself. He does his thing. So I was like, people be deserving of light. And that's what cooking up is about. Like you cooking up, you heating up, we got to tell these people. They need to see what you got cooking.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I
And
like
that's
that.
the whole concept behind it.
You know, I'm cooking up. You know, they giving out indictments.
Yeah.
I know what was going on out
Yeah,
there.
that's the crazy
That's some
part.
yams, that's some crack. Ignore that.
Cooking at the
Somebody
stove
else
for
picking that up
real.
later.
That's for somebody else. That ain't for
It's a
y'all.
whole nother one.
That ain't
Y'all
Don't
over here
touch
with the
that.
microphone. Yeah, that's real though. I can't wait for it. That's
For sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
we looking forward to it, man. But no, we definitely appreciate your time today, bro. It's been fantastic, man. You know, we
Definitely.
talked about a lot. Current events, cooking up, mental millionaire. Give everybody your contacts and all your social media handles where they can find your content so they can tap in so that y'all know that if you're a TRP fan, you need to be a cooking up fan and vice versa.
Vice versa, for sure, for sure. You know, we connected. We outside. But you already know, follow me on the gram, That Man Smooth on Twitter, Instagram, all the above. Cooking Up 215 on everything. Cooking Up 215 TikTok, Cooking Up 215 on Instagram, Cooking Up 215 on YouTube, and as well as cookingup.com. We just cookingup215.com. We just finised the website.
Nice.
Everything is up and running.
Gotta have that website, man.
No, for sure, man.
You have to have somewhere. What I learned a couple years ago, you have to have a central location to send people that's a representation of your
Right.
business. That shit goes so far, man.
It's like having a brick and mortar. You got to have a business somewhere. You can't
Yeah.
just be everywhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't just be living out in space.
cash money. This thing.
Yeah, like, living on the road. Like, no, this shit has a home. So cookingup215.com, and that's COOKNUP215.com. And, you know, Cooking Up 215 on everything else, man. Tap in.
Yes, indeed.
A lot of major things coming.
Oh, that's decent.
We out here working, man. I love doing this too. Like, you already know, Diddy, how I feel about, you know, bringing everybody together. That's my whole mission, man. Bring everybody that's working. We should be all working together and not trying to work against each other, because the world is huge.
Man,
It should be Philly
And
versus
the
everybody
internet
else.
is huger.
Exactly. Exactly. And
Kanye
once
said the
everybody
internet
recognize
is the
that, we
sky.
lit.
God, the internet is huger. That shit is wide open.
No, for sure, man. So we on. I can't wait to have y'all on, you know, to my home. Me, Kasai, and I get to treat y'all. You know what I'm saying? I look forward to it. Can't wait. We on.
Definitely, man. We appreciate you. It's Diddy, Matt,
We out.
Smooth, realest
boy
podcast
Smooth.
ever. Cooking Up. We out.
Let's go.